Actual Play channel. All of our subscriptions, the money that we get from the subscriptions goes to Black Lives Matter and the Trans Legal Defense Fund. It is fueled by tea and coffee, and as Jay and I were just discussing, and we are playing an oldie but a goodie, a classic indie RPG called Sorcerer. Whenever I say that word, my jersey comes out. I can't help it. And we're playing it with a setting called the Dictionary of Moo. I'll be putting links into the show notes, not into the show notes, well, into the show notes too, but I'll be putting links out into the chat just so you know what's going on and who's here. It is me and Jay. I'm Judd, he, him. And how are you doing, Jay? Want to introduce yourself?
I'm good. I'm Jay, he, him. I'm good. I'm coming off a week of game prep. This will be the week that I think I have a game every day. So wow. Starting with Sorcerer tonight. So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's like con season, right?
That is awesome. That is wild. So what else are you playing this week?
I'll play Sorcerer tonight. I played Twilight 2000 last night, fighting over a goat. I will run Vampire the Masquerade for two friends tomorrow night.
Okay.
There are newly turned vampires in Rio de Janeiro.
Oh, it's the Rio game. We chatted about that. Oh, awesome.
Yeah. They'll have to figure out. Actually, they're being pulled right to the Anarchs and the Camarilla, and they'll have to figure out where they fit in. Right. I don't want to make them choose one or the other, but I do want to put pressure on them from those two groups.
Right.
Let them decide what they want to do.
Yeah.
Right. Because it could be a third option or a fourth option, and I don't want to force that. So we'll play that tomorrow.
Yeah.
I have 2 Champions games this week. I'll be back on the streaming Nibiru on Thursday, and then you and I are playing, and Misha are playing Stars Without Number on Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
awesome.
And then I will sleep all day Sunday.
No doubt. That's a busy week. Holy cow. Yeah, it's a busy week for you. It's a busy week for Actual Play. I saw it's just jam-packed. The 2 that caught my eye that I'm not playing in is tomorrow night. There's a cool Blades in the Dark game.
Yeah.
And that looks really good. And I know it looks good when I'm not jealous, but I actually want to watch it. That means it's really cool people. So that's like, or it means I've made some jealousy adjustments in my personal development, whichever is more interesting. And then Sunday is Once Again Into the Void, which is neat.
Which
I think
I want to watch that.
Yeah, that'll be neat. I'd like to be in the chat in both of them. I don't know if I'll be able to, but I will try. And my computer's running a little slow. I'm getting a little echo, but F it. Let's just play. Cool. So last game, you killed your half brother, and
yes.
Well, I think there was another cool thing that happened. The way we started was kind of slow and easy. We started. Let's get to the notes. So now that if I can head to stream, don't want that one. There we are. There are the notes. Yeah, we started off with you getting doing your kicker, and then walking into a different tribe who you're not related to. So we got to see you kind of in a less charged situation. And you met with a young Khan named Gadatus, who you clearly had been like a prophet for and had done some advising with, but his aunties definitely saw that you walked into camp with a demon on your back, and they were not into it, and so they kind of saw you out. And then the next camp you went into was a less friendly tribe and a definitely more ambitious tribe. Lots of weapons being made, lots of iron being forged into spear tips and arrowheads, and and knives and axes, and they rode giant spiders that are known for being kind of dangerous and difficult to keep. And you met up with Zuthusu, who is Marduk's father, and you marked him as one of your blood guard, which is what your sword needs. It needs you to mark your friends and kill your enemies. Is the need. So that's like non-negotiable. The demon needs that to survive in this world. And yeah, starting off with a bang, you killed your brother in brutal, quick fashion, and took your brother's husband as your husband, and you also not freed, but definitely began to befriend some thralls who had been captured by other tribes.
Right.
And you said, what is your name? They said we had to bury our names when we became thralls. And they said, who said that? Like, you were ready to fight. And they said the battle gods said it. And you were like, oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to go effing with the battle gods just
right.
yet. So that's okay. And you also met maybe a little sister. Yeah, it is a little sister, named Beltis.
Yes.
Yeah, and she seemed kind of smart and kind of cool, and I liked her right away. I didn't know I was going to like her. You don't know that when you make NPCs. You know how it is. Right. But she kind of came to life in a cool way, and I
agree.
Yeah, and your father had sent her to go fetch you, and she took that pretty seriously, and she's got a good eye for the for dealing with the spiders and training them and befriending them. And yeah, your father was taking you around, and we ended on him taking you to the consort to the Witch King. And that's because he had taken out a loan from Moo's Bed, which is the Witch King's kind of crater city state. And so there's this, there was all these yurts and tents, and then there's this black goth tent that is the consort of the Witch King's tent. And there was a man within named Balathu of Moo's Bed, and he had invited you to break fast with him.
Mm-hmm.
And your father said, by all means, break fast. And that's kind of where we ended it, with you getting ready to share a meal with this, I don't know, creepy goth banker.
Right.
So yeah, that's where we are at. Could you just describe Marduk a little bit as he walks into this tent, just so we kind of get reset, what he looks like, or anything. I feel like what we got last time, the main things I got last time is that he has kind of pointed ears like Nightcrawler.
Right.
So there is something kind of inhuman looking about him.
Yeah. So I think he's got kind of like that angular triangle, narrow kind of face, right? Mm-hmm. So his ears do stick out at points. There are ridges along the bridge of his nose, right?
Okay.
Those are the half-breed features that he has.
Right.
Supposedly, right, from his mom, right?
Yeah.
I think he has pronounced fangs, right? I think for the rest of him, he's built pretty solid. He might just be shy of 6 feet, right?
Yeah.
He's got a survivalist kind of build. He's been out in the Red Waste. He's been out in some of the more harsh environments of Mard, right?
Yep.
And survived those areas, right? So I think he's not beautiful skinned. I think his skin has coloring. I think it's got abrasions. It's weathered. That's the word I'm looking for.
Cool.
So it's weathered. His face is weathered. I think his hair is short, probably longer than mine, but kept short. And
Okay.
that might be because of the weather, right?
Yeah.
I'd like it to be a weird, odd color, but not bright, something muted, but not a
Oh,
normal
interesting.
brown or a
Okay.
blonde or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
And my colors are failing me. I've got like 8 crayons in my box, and so, so my colors are failing me right now. But I feel like there's something different, something weird, something odd, but
Okay.
not glaringly so about his hair, right?
Okay. Interesting. We'll figure it out. Maybe it'll come to us. We
Hmm.
we'll kind of play to find out his hairstyle a little bit. Um, that's awesome. And there's something else that just occurred to me as you were talking, and I absolutely lost it. Cool. That's all good. We'll figure it out. Yeah. So I think he is. Balathu, invites you into his tent, and you can smell some type of creature's eggs cooking. And yeah, I think he's kind of roughing it out here. So I think like when you get in,
Right.
he doesn't have any servants. He's seeing to it himself, and there are lots of pillows on the floor and layers of rugs, so that the dust doesn't get in. Uh, very intricate, uh, rugs. I think kind of look like some kind of summoning circle. Like I think the pattern on the floor when you picked up the sword, there's probably some kind of callback there to
Nice.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
to the carpeting. Cool. And then I think there are uh, lamps hanging from poles, and in the corner, like some kind of, you know, I don't know. The way it is sitting there looks very mundane, but there's nothing mundane about it. Draped in black cloth that is wrapped around this corpse is a guardian mummy, and it has in one of its clawed hands, it has an obsidian blade, and I think it's unearthly still, and yeah, I think that's it. It's just it could be a coat rack for all that's moving, and for all that Balathu pays attention to it, and he says, "Eggs will be ready in a moment. Please forgive me," and gestures towards a low table where you can sit, and there's pitchers with water and wine in it if you want to serve yourself. He says, "Please help yourself, Master Marduk."
Uh, does Balathu have a title?
Uh, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so.
All right. All right.
I don't think the consorts to the Witch King necessarily do.
Okay. Um, I situate myself at the table. I do help myself. I position myself so that I can see the coat rack of
Right,
a mummy. Right.
right.
I don't. Yes. And I don't try to hide it. I'm uneasy about it until I know it is a coat rack or it is a thing. Right.
Yeah,
And so I position myself so that I can see it.
yeah.
It's in my direct view,
Cool.
even if that means I have to move things around at the table. Um,
Do you want to kind of like look it over and know more about it? Do you want to make a lore roll?
yes, yes, I do.
Cool,
Yes, I do.
cool. So I think for that, I just roll one die, oddly, and we see how much you know.
All right. And I think my lore is 4.
And let me get.
There's
Hold
there it is.
on.
Sorcerer remove. There's that guy. Yes, it is 4. So let me get.
Let me get the dice up. Hold on, hold
Yes.
on,
Uh huh.
so that we can all. Boom. Great. And oh man.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah. So as you can all see, I rolled a 10, and then Jay rolled 2 9s and 2 and a 1. So the high die is the first success, and
Right.
so in this case, I have 1 success and he has 0. That might almost be like a weird crit success in some ways, but I don't think so, and I don't think it's nearly necessary. I think what it does mean is that when you look at it, and like you don't know very much about the guardian mummies.
Gotcha.
From what we basically, that's a way for us to learn that there isn't much. You've never gone through Moo's bed, or you've never dealt with any of the Witch King's people, which is
Right.
cool. It's kind of cool thing for us to learn. And
Right.
then another really, I think, key mechanical die concept that I just want to like make sure we know is that now going forward, if we have a fight, that 1 success will roll over. So if you had gotten 4 successes, we would have rolled those over if there was a fight later, because we would have known like, oh, you're going to use your lore of the guardian mummy to move forward. But I think its mysteriousness and the fact that it is hidden from your view means that it's gonna have a bit of an advantage if we go to a fight. And I feel like that's something we didn't get to very much in the last game. I think it's another cool thing you can do, just so if you want to order a character to do something. So like, you say stop that, and they say no. We say roll, and then you roll your will versus their will, and then you take those successes, and if they don't stop and you want to attack them, those successes roll over. So it's not necessarily mind control, but it's like, well, now if you don't say, it's a way to kind of it's like old school go aggro, really. Where you're holding the gun out, and etc. So yeah. Anyway, just getting that out. The rollover dice, I feel like, is something we didn't get to last game, and I thought it was really important. I just want to make sure that didn't get forgotten in the mix of it.
Nice. Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts of Sorcerer, in that contests can mechanically influence the next set of contests.
Yeah.
Through that rollover. So I like that.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, I think you glare at this evil coat rack, and it doesn't seem to notice you, and doesn't move, and doesn't breathe. And Balathu serves the eggs, serves you first, and then serves some to himself, and sprinkles some precious greens over it, and says, oh, don't mind that one. They just watch over my husband's assets.
No, I'm fine. I'm good. I just when you think you've seen a lot of things on Mard, it shows you something new.
Of course. Well, that's auspicious. Let's toast to that. And I think Balathu pours himself a drink and clinks glasses with you.
Yes.
And says, so you've killed your brother, who seemed to be your in the lead to be your father's heir. And now you are, I don't know. I really don't know your place in the tribe. You move like something of a prophet, but how do you see yourself fitting in here, Marduk?
I feel, without knowing more about what here is, I could be hanging myself with an answer. Uh, you are a consort of the Witch King. I knew this, right?
Yes, 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 yes. That is correct.
Overseeing, um, or overseeing, presumably, interests of the Witch King here in this tribe.
Your father petitioned the Witch King to help him with a few problems he had and to fund his conquests.
I have no love of my father. I tolerate him at the moment. Um, he did a very foul thing to me when I was young. I'm not angry about it, but it will be righted. I will write it. Um, what I aim to do is replace him, but not just him, as many cons as possible. And I don't mean to unite them. I mean to rule over them. If that is in service of the Witch King's interests and your interests, then we're good. I don't mean to cross those interests. I just mean to take what was taken from me when I was young.
No, I don't think the Witch King would be averse to a united group of tribes. Are you planning on taking the Red Waste tribes, or are you going to go into the Chris Plains and take those tribes too?
There's a prophecy about the Khan of Khans, and I aim to implement that prophecy to make that true. So if it's all the tribes, then it's all the tribes. I don't know if it's all the tribes. I don't know because we're running with this
Yeah,
prophecy. Yeah, so I
yeah.
don't know if it includes all the tribes. Is that part of the prophecy? Is there a hidden Gnostic secret prophecy that there are tribes not included? I don't know. I don't know if
No,
Marduk knows.
I don't think so. And I think it's definitely a vagary in the book.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think it all depends on how you read it, right? The I was reading it this in the week between our games, and I was like, oh, there are kind of two groups of tribes. There are like the
Yes,
people at the Chris Plains, or the Christ Plains, or whatever it is, and then there are kind of these like red waste tribes, and they seem a little different, and they spell con different,
right.
but is it the same or is it not? I don't know. I think that's going to be up to you,
Okay,
especially since you were a prophet. I think totally up to you.
gotcha.
Um,
Uh, so I tell Balathu, I'm going to start with this tribe because it's not mine. And once it is, there are tribes I am allied with, and there won't be a fight there. They will follow me, and then I will seek out the tribes where there is friction to my rule.
hmm.
But I have to start here because this is where I started.
Interesting. Well, I think as long as your father's debts are paid, I don't think the Witch King is going to have any problem with any matter of your conquests.
And I'm assuming his debts are the tribe's debts, and then I will assume those, and they will
Yeah,
be
yeah.
mine. Yes.
He nods and he says, "I'm glad to hear that."
I feel like I'm tap dancing here. um, I was going to say something else and I lost it. Oh, so I say to him, "You understand why Haman had to die? Why I killed him?"
I don't. Tell me.
Um, when my father, when Zuthusu gave me away, uh, he that was him disowning me as blood, as relative, as his son, right? Uh, he will have to earn his title back to be my father, or not. Until then, none of his kin, none of his spawn are my relations. They're no kin of mine. They'll have to earn that too. I have better kin adopted out in the wastes than these here sired by one who would disown me. But he is son to Zuthusu, and in killing him, right, that is a wound that hurts Zuthusu because he was the first and the best, the star, the light of Zuthusu, and and so I had to snuff that out to let him know I'm serious.
Well, I think everyone knows you're serious now, without a doubt.
Um, but yes, the debts, if when I take over the tribe, are mine, and they will be honored as they were honored by Suthusu.
Wonderful. Well then, uh, knowing that, if there's any way that I can support you, please let me know. Is there a demon that you would like to summon that you believe could help you unite the tribes?
In the prophecy, there is the Sword of Khans. I have liberated and made that sword mine. Um, I fear I don't know enough about the Sword of Khans yet, but it has served me thus far.
Hmm.
I would learn more about the sword. It is instrumental in the prophecy to unite to unite the tribes. I don't know that I should need another demon.
Oh, really? You think you're going to do this with just one? Good for you. Your forthrightness is really refreshing. In Moo's bed, if someone wanted to become the Khan of Khans, I mean, they might have killed your brother as you did, but that could be seen as just a act of passion. A Moo's bed world, someone who wanted to conquer, a world conqueror, would have bound the sword to his father and let his father deal with the sword's need. But let his father get eaten away piece by piece by the demon. And then when his father falls and has united the tribes, then they would have picked up the sword or picked up whatever it was, the title, the crown, the throne. But I am impressed that you wish to do this all yourself. It seems very forthright.
Well, not all myself. We seem to have an accord.
Yes. Yes, yes.
There are tribes out in the wastes that are allied with me. And even within one passing of the sun and the moon, I have made allies here in this tribe. So not alone. And it may be, I mean, it may be I need other demons down the road. But right now, I feel like I have the one I need.
Good. Good. Well, I could see your rise was going to be meteoric, and I wanted to make sure that Moo's bed's debts were going to be seen to. And since they are, I know of a witch lord's fort not a few days from here on the edge of the Red Waste. He has not paid his taxes to my lord, the Witch King. And he has some riches. he might be a good first blood for you.
Speak his name, and I will see it done.
Nice. I need a name.
I know. I tried to jump out here and grab. I think we were using Mesopotamian names.
I was using Babylonian.
Babylonian. There we go.
Yeah. Here, I'll put a link actually in the mainstream.
Cool.
This is what I'm using, and I feel like we have a lot of U's in play, so I'm going to find a name that does not have U's. The Witch Lord's name is Rahat.
Nice. There it is. Yes. Oh, this is beautiful. I like it.
Cool. And when you wish to know where that fort is, let me know. Matter of fact, he gives you. He says, like, you ride out past the Blue Pyramid, and it is a day from there.
Nice. And now I am a tax collector.
Right.
I be sure to compliment him on his culinary stylings of these eggs. They're fantastic. Surely you missed your call. Surely you missed your calling.
Well, when I'm out here roughing it with the tribes, we have to see to ourselves. My servant died just a few days out, so it's just one of those things. But thank you. It has been nice to meet you, Marduk. If you need anything, let me know. Your ascension is a dangerous thing, and I wish you luck.
I thank him as yeah. Thank you, and I appreciate this talk and this breakfast.
Cool.
I go looking for Beltis after this.
Cool. Yeah, Beltis is Beltis is using she's like with a group of kids, and they are on the edge of camp, and there are these like dog-sized bugs, and they've got slings out, and they're kind of like whirling their, hitting these kind of dog-sized scarabs with stones, kind of taking bets and just being kids.
Right. I let that play out. I just let her see that I'm nearby. I don't let her break away.
Yeah, I think the kids scatter pretty soon when they see you. You get the idea that their parents have said, terrible things about you, and the kids are scared, and a lot of them saw you straight up anime kill, your brother. So yeah, it was very much a berserker, sword obliterating head type of deal. So
yes.
So yeah, I think they all scatter, but she's there, and she stays, having formed a little bit of relationship with you. And she said, "Did you agree to pay Moo's bed?"
Did I agree to pay Moo's bed? Is that what she asked me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Only the debts that are owed. Yes. Word spreads quickly.
I saw you go in their tent. They probably think you're going to be the next Khan. So they'd want to
You,
know.
you don't think I'm the next Khan? You don't. You sound like you disbelieve.
She gets a little shy. She shrugs and says, I don't know. A lot of people say they're going to be a Khan.
That is true. A lot of people do say it. What do you know about these spiders?
They're fast and they're good hunters.
And we ride them, right?
Yeah, we ride them.
Could
They're
you
tough to
teach?
upkeep. Yeah. You want to learn?
Yeah. How quickly do you think I could learn to ride one?
I don't know. And yeah, let's find out. I have no idea. How do you like what does it look like? What does the Marduk tries to, ride a spider montage? Like is he just jumping on it and trying to hang on for dear life?
Yeah, I think it's all physical. I think he thinks it's all physical, right?
Okay.
I
Okay.
think, yeah, I think that's his approach. Is that it's another physical creature. We ride these things. She knows quite a. I mean, she's last session she demonstrated she knew a lot about handling spiders, so that's why I went to her to learn quickly. But my assumption, Marduk's assumption, is it's all a physical thing. Show me the tips and tricks.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I think it is definitely a let's roll some dice.
All right.
Yeah, you just to describe like how he gets on. What does he do? Does he leave his sword on his back? Does he put it aside somewhere? Does he wield it? Does like what does he?
Yeah, I think for the training, yeah, at some point I'm gonna want to know how to ride it with the sword on my back. So
Right.
maybe at the beginning, it's a matter of me just getting on, and then it's at some point it's me with my sword on my back riding this thing.
Cool.
The sword isn't very far away. I'm assuming in a couple days, 3 days, something like that. She can teach me how to at least travel from here to Riyadh's place where, because that's my aim is, can I travel out that far with this spider? And I'll need to learn how to ride it.
Right.
But yeah, I'm assuming it's got a saddle or reins or something, someplace to sit that they ride. When they ride it. I think I'm I hop up in there, I grab those reins, I'm jerking stuff, pulling things. I think he's very hands-on about the whole thing. If there are sounds, I'm thinking of horses, clicks, and things like that.
Probably clicks. Yeah, totally. Cool. Take a bonus die and add it to your stamina.
Nice, and that's good because my stamina is only 3, so that brings me to 4.
Cool. Now only rolling 2, and you got a success. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's you're not a natural, but I mean, I wouldn't say you're not a natural. You don't make this steed. You don't really bond with it powerfully, but you do get the hang of it, and you do start to like learn how you have to move, and that's important. You basically get some practice in,
right.
And yeah, Beltis says this one was unwritten. That's pretty good. What do you want to name it?
And so here is where I will deviate from a Babylonian name.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab a Sumerian name.
Cool.
I'm assuming I think I'd like to have another list or culture of names for strange, weird, power, unknown, ancient. Right. That's why I'm doing this.
Awesome.
And I'm going with Hedu. Hedu.
Cool. Cool. And I've got another group of Sumerian names from that same website, the Piraeus Public Library, which
Yes.
I don't know where that is, but thank you, Piraeus. Is that? Yeah, I have no idea. It's not secure. It looks dicey. Is it really a public library? I have no idea.
I don't know.
Is it really Sumerian and Babylonian? I have
That's
no idea.
right. It's
Anyway,
Joe in his basement.
yeah. It's yeah. It's this guy Piraeus. He says he's got a public library. What was the spider's name? Say it again. I'm sorry.
Hedu. Hedu.
HEDU. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, and I can't seem to get any games that don't have giant spiders in them at some point. So yeah, I picture them, like how I imagine desert spiders, very chitinous,
Yes.
with like long, hard hairs and like a soft brown color, and 8 giant eyes, and able to dig and tunnel into the make little holes into the sand when when there's a storm coming.
Right.
And yeah, I think you ride this thing. I think it if they really don't like you, they'll probably roll. But this one, you learn how to kind of guide it with you know uh with clicks. And yeah, you've got a riding steed.
Nice.
And the other thing that I wanted to bring up was the red waste. We haven't really. I started the game on the edge of the red waste just because going into it is going into an other world which has rules all of its own, and possible devastating humanity loss. And it's really like going into another plane of existence, right? Like the red wastes
Right.
are a big deal. So that's kind of why I wanted to start the game on the edge, so that if you wanted to go in, it's a dramatic thing. Because like if we start in the other world, then what's the big deal? But
Right.
I think if we start on the edge of it, then it's like this big deal. And I think it is this, ever present, like, on one horizon is just the horizon, and there's more, there's more of the way, more of the desert out there. But I think, on the southern horizon is the red waste, and it is, it's this dark line, this dark blood red line that is ever present. And the sun doesn't seem to shine there, and storms come out of it without warning. And yeah, as you finish, I think as you finish riding Hidu, you and Beltis, sit on the fence for a bit and look out on the red waste. She says, "Have you ever been there?"
Once.
Is it as bad as they say?
They say a lot of things.
Father said he met your mother there.
Maybe. I don't know. I got my sword there.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Are you going to take that father's place? You scarred him. What does that mean?
So he let me scar him. He could have fought back. So on some level, he understood also what he was getting into uh, by getting scarred. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm. You think he was
Um,
submitting?
I think so. Um, I think if you hang out with me, you will find I don't have a whole lot of respect for your father. Uh,
Nice.
so what's funny is, as kids, I have three sisters, two brothers. Uh, we'd get into discussions about our parents, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And there are times where you know you're not liking what mom or what dad is saying at one point in time, and you
yeah.
turn to your sibling, and we will say, you know, your father, right? Your father X Y Z, right? Or you know what your
Nice,
mom did today, right? So
nice,
that's where
nice.
that comes from. It's funny to me. So
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I say to her, yes, I don't, I don't have a lot of respect for your father. The marking means he's given a chance to earn that respect back.
Mm.
Do you know why I was gone?
Father said he sent you away.
And that's why I have this friction with your father. Uh, Sent me away is not quite all the truth. I did go away. He more like gave me away. You see the difference?
Mm-hmm. Not a very nice thing to do.
Right. But if you tell folks I sent you away, well, that sounds different. It means something different. So your father has some steps to make up between us. He can do it.
You could you could have father you could have father set you up with a marriage, go to a different tribe. That way you wouldn't have to see him. That's what Sargon did.
Do I know? You said Sardon?
Sargon, yeah. You have no
Sargon?
fucking idea who Sargon is. Like, not the foggiest.
Right. I said, yeah, so I say, did he? And why would Sargon do that?
He didn't like father either.
All right, so now I'm being tricky. So then
Yeah.
I say,
Uh-huh.
is that when Hammond took his place? Or is that when Hammond became most favored after
Yes.
Sargon left?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Um, Sargon's way is a path. That's not my path. Sargon could leave. So could Hammond. I name a couple other siblings. They could also leave too. And then what happens?
Less blood.
Sometimes blood is good. Change is good.
Maybe. What are you gonna people say I heard people saying that your your sword was was an announcement.
I'm not sure what they mean by announcement. It is part of prophecy. Yeah.
What does the prophecy say?
So remember when you said lots of people say they will be Khan? There's a prophecy about a Khan uniting all the Khans. So they want to be that one Khan to unite all the Khans.
The Khan of
That's why they
Khans?
say that. Yes. The sword is part of that prophecy. You will know the Khan of Khans by the Khan sword.
She nods. I have to go clean up.
Thanks for teaching me to ride.
You're welcome. Remember me when you're the Khan of Khans, I guess.
Remember me when you need some help for something that's bigger than you.
Yeah, she realizes that's a big deal, and she says, like, when she says "okay," you get the feeling like, "Oh, I heard you." Yeah, yeah, definitely,
Nice.
definitely. Like you feel like, "Oh shit," she really heard me when I said that.
Right, right. Nice.
Awesome. Uh, cool. I feel like the next thing is your father sitting around the fire with all of like the hunters and the elders of the tribe,
Mm-hmm.
and like, you know, everyone kind of discussing what where to go next. As you are nomadic,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, some people say we should follow the Mantiscora herds, and others are saying that, you know, there are good wells to the north. Um, a few mystics say they want to go into the Red Wastes and you know, give the clan a, you know, the mystique it deserves so that they can rule over others more. And yeah, your father's not saying anything, but he definitely looks across the fire at you and
Mm-hmm.
says, Marduk has plans. Marduk, what do you have planned for the tribe?
Is there food and drink
Oh, totally,
about?
totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I linger on, I don't know, a chunk of meat or something, right,
Yeah,
for a while, and then I take a good long drink, right, of
yeah,
something. I don't know, maybe a good 30 seconds, a minute. There's a big pause,
yeah.
and then I say, "Yeah, I have plans of prosperity and wealth, long lives, the pursuit of happiness, pleasure. That's what I have planned for the tribe."
I think everyone gets quiet. And yeah, your father looks puzzled. Like that's not what he thought you were going to say. And
Mm-hmm.
and I think some of your cousins who tried to ambush you,
Mm-hmm.
one of them says, "How do you plan on bringing us this prosperity, cousin?"
I ignore him. Um, I I look at my father and I say, because he's still Khan, right?
Yeah.
So I say, "What do you have planned for us, Khan? What would you have us do?" Totally ignoring my cousin, like he
Yeah,
didn't even
yeah.
say yes.
I think he says, I spoke with Balathu, and he would like us to go to a witch fort not far from here, and destroy it, raise it, make an example of the rogue witch lord within it named Rihat. I think like he lets that go out on the tribe just to like see how, what their reaction is going to be. And I think like there's a lot of like, it just causes a lot of argument.
Right.
Some people are really into it and just want to, go raise some hell and gain some treasure and glory. And others don't want to, do the Witch King's dirty work. This is obviously, witch politics, and we shouldn't get our daggers dirty for it. And and then everybody else starts bringing their other ideas and how that can affect or not affect it, and it leads to a lot of arguing. I think your dad looks across at you like, this is what being Khan is, like, and yeah, he's letting it go on. He's letting the arguments go on.
Mm-hmm. And I just watch him, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And he's watching you. Like, yeah, you're watching each other to see what the other does.
Right.
Do we want to roll to see who breaks, or do you want to like, I don't know. I feel like there's a roll here, but I don't know what exactly, like, is there a will roll here where we just like stare each other down?
Maybe. I think what I want to ask him is, after we're watching each other back and forth.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
You tell me if there's a role. At some point, I ask, in doing this, does it reduce our debt burden? How does this help our debt if we do this?
And like the fact how good of a question that is, like, everyone is like, oh, it's a good question, and your father says, we will not be paid for it, but all of the treasure that we can bring out of that fort and its wells will be ours. So we can pay out of the fort itself rather than out of our own pockets.
So doing this has value in that we can reduce our debt with resources of doing this job.
Yeah, one of your cousins says we'll be paying with the blood of our riders. Blood that the Witch King would have to spill on his own, or that he would have to summon a demon to do his work for him, or whatever, however he does things in Moo's bed. I think, and I think when he says Moo's bed, he like, spits and makes a sign of the, warding evil away.
Yeah. I think I let him get it all out, but I raised my hands. I become very physical about the whole thing, and I'm like, that's all of nothing. Do we have a debt, or do we not have a debt? Are we going to pay this debt, or are we going to ignore it and shirk it? I'm cool. I'm good either way, but we have to choose a path one way or the other, right? We have a debt or we don't. The rest is, I don't even know. It's spider dumb. Do we have a debt?
Yeah, I think everyone looks at your dad at that, and he says, we have a debt. And
are we going to pay this debt? Do we honor? I don't say pay. Are we honoring this debt?
I gave my word on behalf of the tribe. This word brought us fresh steeds beyond number, more spiders than we can easily count. And I think one of your uncles, who's like known for being really cheap, is like, but we count them. And everyone kind of laughed because he's known for being like just stingy. Right, and he says, it has brought us iron for weapons and arrowheads and spearheads. and we will honor it. We will not trifle with the demons of Mu's bed. We will honor our debts and not let our names be dragged as those who are oath breakers. And as such, I think we will take this fort because it's ours to take. And with all of the tribes on the outskirts of the Red Wastes during the storm season, it is it's a good way to show our might. Maybe we take this fort and then invite the other cons to come see us.
Oh, I like that idea.
Yeah,
I say that in my head.
yeah.
My voice.
Yeah, I feel like it shows in your eyes, and like you see your dad see it in your eyes if you're cool with that.
Yes.
Because it definitely, like when I said that, your eyes were like woo, and
Yes.
and I think your dad saw that, and he
Nice.
says we begin our war ride at dawn. Be ready, prepare yourselves and your riders. And I think everybody starts like getting into like getting into the thick of, oh, we're going to battle, and they start accepting it and making toasts and boasts and saying what they're going to do and all that stuff, and bragging and flighting and talking shit to one another and all that
Right.
kind of stuff. And yeah, is there anything? I think that's also, we're about an hour in, so we're a little over an hour in. So that is not a bad place to stop. I'm putting Jay and my links in the chat if you're interested in such things. Jay, is there anything you kind of want to say or do before we kind of break to riding out to the fort?
No, I think this is good. No, I think this is good.
Cool.
I had a different idea, but I like the idea of writing out the waste in the fort and then inviting the cons out. I like that way better. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. What was your idea? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on anything.
No, you're fine. So I wasn't sure how this was going to play out.
Yeah.
Right. So Marduk was thinking, is there a compromise between getting whatever Balathu needs from this rogue Witch King, right, and not having to lose blood over fighting the Witch King, right? Is there some compromise in between there? But man, there's something about having your own fort.
Yep. Cool. Awesome, folks. We are going to go to a break. We'll be right back. We'll put up the be right back screen. I need to make a better overlay for that. I will do that later. And yeah, we will see you soon. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. I'm just going to put the screen up and mute our mics, and we'll see you soon as we ride out to pacify and destroy the fort of, or grab or take the fort of a rogue witch lord, as you do on a Monday night.
As you do, yes.
Yeah, cool. We'll see you all soon.